What's up guys, in this video I'm going to show you how to drive a truck shifting at 18 speed even fuller, how to use the range knob, how to use the splitter, to shift all of these gears. This is going to be a theoretical video and the next video is going to be about practice. There I'm going to show you how the highway is, how I recommend you to shift the gears, and how I move my feet every shift. I'm going to explain you how to go up and down. I always drive without using the clutch because it is easier to drive without it. I use the clutch more in a regular car than I do in a trailer truck. I only use the clutch for starting up the engine and also when any shifting gets difficult. So after we start the engine, there's no need to use the clutch. This will also depend on how you want to drive, but trust me that driving with the clutch it's harder than it is without it. Because think about it, using the clutch on every 18 speeds, some companies require you to always use it, but I will explain that later on. We're going to learn about the shifting gear. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And with every shift will be 4, 8, 12, and 16. 16 speeds here, and the other two here, that are 18 speeds forward and the high and low reverse. These black ones that you see here are the low speeds, and the white ones are the higher speeds of each. For example, in low, LO, we only have the low speed. And you can shift through these speeds with a splitter. This is a splitter. When it's up are the higher speeds and when it's down are the lowest. Up will be for the white and down for the black. Here we have the splitter and will be used for what we see right here. H and L in small letters. H and L, H and L. That will be the high and low. A lot of people do this shifter name it the wrong way. In Mexico, nail for example, and the back one right here, beard. But the right names are the one right here for shifting up and down. The name is a splitter. So when I first started to drive trailers, some people used to call firstly to low and first. Always when the trailer was really heavy, they used to tell me like, start at firstly. And I used to put first. Then they said, no, that's first. Firstly is low. And well, I didn't want to argue with these people and used to tell me that it was fine. But the right names are first and low. And other people used to tell me that low was first was second, and second was third, and third was fourth. Well, I was very confused because everyone drives in a different way and do not check on the numbers that are right here. That's why I'm going to teach you the way that we see right here. That it was how I teach myself. This is first, this is low, first is first, second is second, and third. They also told me you have to always think about the speed that you are in and which you are putting next and which river you're going to use. But it was very difficult because there were 16 speeds and with all of them calling the speeds in different names was even harder. And this person used to always ask, which speeds are you in now? Which one is next? And I really got confused. When I first started to drive alone, what I do is to check the numbers right here. For up, for down, 8 speeds, and I only shift the splitter. For example, when I'm at high 4, maybe high 7, or down 6, that's what I do. I do not think about every speed. I just count 8 speeds. This lever has a stop. You can see it here. It bounces because there is a sharp stop. To the left, we are already in reverse and low right below. But when you let it go, it comes back here. To the other side, it doesn't have a stop anymore. It's really on the loose, at least this lever that is long. Some trucks have a shorter one. It will depend on the brand of yours. The problem with this kind of levers is that shifting are made really high or really low. When it's about shorter lever, the shifting are shorter to reach. And when the lever is really old, it doesn't have a stop, it slips without it. So well, we first to left and up, that will be reversed. And down below will be low. We let it go and it's neutral again. So here will be first, second, third, and fourth. All of these right here are low ones because I have the range knob down. So as I told you, these letters you see here, we are going to control the splitter. Up is H, down is L. From high and low. For example, here we are in first. We reach 1300 revolutions, that is when you have to shift the gear. In between 1100 and 1300 you can do it, but at 100 you won't have the necessary strength. You can also shift past 130,000, but as I told you in other videos, we'll be spending more fuel, and companies always check on it. Or when you're taking a driving test, they also look at the shifting gear, because what they care most about is saving fuel. I always start in first or second when I'm empty because the engine has a lot of strength. I usually don't go on low even when the trailer truck is full. I use first unless there is a climb, I'm completely off and I'm trying to start up. In that case, I will be starting on low and then shift. Low is the lowest speed and also the stronger for when the trailer truck is full. Because it will be harder if you're trying to go in first, it will depend on the climb too. We'll talk more about it when we drive and you will see it. So I start first, everything is down, the range knob and also the splitter is backwards. There, I'm using first. We reach 1200 revolutions. I put the splitter on, I'm on high first, then shift it to second. What happens if I go to second without putting the splitter backwards? Well, I will be using the high second, then the truck will run out of strength. So when I'm at high first, either I'm doing this on the speed or switching the splitter. It doesn't mean that the speed is there already. It means I'm getting ready to change second speed or next speed. So when it's time to switch neutral and then second, I'm already at low second and again 1200 revolutions and then I go on high second and so on. This is for making the shifting easier. For example, there I'm at low first, 1200 revolutions, I go to high first, then I go neutral. And when I'm at neutral, I switch the splitter backwards. For the time that I hit second, I will be in low second. This will also depend on how you get comfortable driving. What I do is that always in every speed, I get ready to go second. For example, as I said, I'm at high first, and then in first, being in first, I switch the splitter to get ready for second and be in low second. Then I'm in second. I put the splitter at 1200 revolutions. The revolutions go down again to 1100 or 1000. It will depend on how you make the shifting. I wait again for 100 thousandths or 3000ths. Then I switch the splitter backwards, go neutral. Then third, and when I get on third, the revolutions will be at 1000 again. Then wait to reach the revolutions to switch. I reach 1300, switch the splitter forward and I'm a high third. The revolutions go down again, accelerate, reach 1300 or 200, switch backwards the splitter again. I'm still on 100,000 revolutions and switch to low fourth. The revolutions go down again, I start to accelerate, 1300 revolutions, switch the splitter forward, revolutions go down, 1100, and now let's get into switching to fifth. What do I have to do? I need to switch to low fifth. Well, what I do is that I'm a high fourth, I switch the range knob up. It doesn't matter that you are in 4 or any speed, you can switch the range knob. It's okay. Now, as an example, we are in fourth with the splitter up that make it high fourth, and with the range knob down, we are in the black speeds. So for switching fifth, we go neutral. At neutral, we put the splitter back and put the range knob up so we can get into the high speeds, the white ones. Once we are in neutral, we go first, that will be fifth, because we have the range knob up, and that's how you switch to the high speeds. Or the other one that I used to, let's picture that I'm at fourth. What I do is that I get ready here in fourth. I'm at fourth. What I do is that I put the splitter back up the range knob for when the time to switch to neutral, I'm ready. And in this moment switch to first, I go with everything down. The range knob up, the splitter down to go in fifth. As I said, it is about how you get along with it. I like better this way because, for example, when I'm at fourth, range knob down, obviously, because I'm at fourth, otherwise will be number 8, because, for example, if I do it on neutral, I will be spending more time at switching. And if that happens, revolutions will go down and we won't be able to switch. We will have to accelerate or stop accelerating. I will explain that later on. So, I'm at fourth, the splitter is on, the range knob is down. If I were at 4, at the time we have to go neutral. When I get on neutral, I will have to do all of these movements. That will be putting the splitter back, switching the range knob to get on first. That will be fifth because the range knob is up. So, in this movement it will be like this. Neutral, go back, go up, switch to fifth, and all of these movements that we have to do. If you're starting, it will be really difficult. It is better the other way. When you're on the high fourth, the range knob down, you get ready for switch the splitter and up the range knob. For when you are neutral, you're done with all of the bottoms and get straight to fifth. It will depend on how you get along with it, but I recommend you to do it this way if you're learning to drive. Something that used to happen to me in a truck that was 10 speeds, the only truck in which this happened, is that when I was a low fourth, as I said, there was a 10 speed truck, it doesn't have the splitter, only the range knob, and when I was at the 4th speed, and it was time to put the range knob up, the transmission used to start sound really weird and wouldn't allow me to make the switch. It only happened to me in that 10 speed truck. If that happens to you, no matter which speed you are, you put the range knob and get that sound, well, you won't be able to do what I told you. So what I used to do in that truck was that, being at neutral, I forced the range knob up. That was the only way that it could work out. Because if I was at any speed on, it wouldn't let me. And yeah, it was really hard to make any shift because I got used to do it the other way. So that's how I switched the speeds. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. I just pictured that there are only 8 speeds and check the splitter, but it will depend on how you get along with it. And also, when you start to drive, other thing is how you hold the lever. If you hold it with the whole hand like this, you're putting more pressure on it. I hold it softly, just to not put in so much pressure on the switching, but I will explain that better when I'm driving. So one more time, let's recap so you can see it. This will be the first speed. With the L, 1. In the H will be 2. Then first will be 3. With H, 4. Then go second, L will be 5. H, 6. Then on third will be 7th. H, 8th. In fourth will be 9th. And H will be 10th. We switch to the high one. Range knob up will be 5th low, 11. Splitter forward will be 12. Then we go low 6, 13. With H will be 14. Then we go 7th, which will make it 15, and H 16. We go to 8, last speed will be 7, and with the splitter on will be 18. And that's it, all of the speeds, 18 of them. That's what I say that it's difficult for me counting every speed because there are 18 of them. So what I do is that I don't think about these two and I keep it here in an 8. And the speeds will be like this, just an 8. That's what's better for me. I just drive with this 8. That will be, as I said, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and 8. And I'm only checking the splitter, whether it's at high or low. For example, high first or low first, high 7th or low 7th, and I won't get confused for all of the speeds. Now, this is what I'm talking about, the 18 transmissions. When you're shifting comparing to one of 10 speeds, this is an 18 speeds Kenworth, and the optimal range that it shows is 1100 and 1500. But as I said, companies in order to save fuel are going to ask to shift at 1300 as max. If you pass that, you will be spending more fuel. But here you can see that between 1100 and 1500, it's okay. Now, here in a frame line of 10 speeds, well, it doesn't matter the brand of the truck. The optimal range is between 1200 and 1700. Here you can see it's green, because you can also shift at 1800 and 900, but you will be spending more fuel. You will be asked to shift at 1200 or 500 to save more fuel. This 10-speed transmission, let's say that companies always require 200 revolutions less to save fuel, and well, in an 18 transmission it has more speed. Shifting will be easier and it will be gaining more strength. Here it only has 10 speeds. You will need to accelerate more so you won't run out of strength. For example, look at these 18 speeds. The truck will go up easier because the stairs are not that tall. And with the 10 speeds will be like this. The stairs are taller, so it will take more revolutions in order to shift, so it won't run out of strength.